you know who else was on the track with us back then, right? Freaking Marquise Goodwin. Hey, yeah. My boy Jonathan Turner lost some. What up, gang? I'm gonna tell y'all about it in a second. What up? Take the thing off the thing. We are live and direct from the Ridin High Studios here in Corpus Christi, Texas. I go by Lucky Lamar. As y'all know, I got Boss with me tonight. Got DJ Lil King in the background. How y'all doing today, fellas?
Pretty good.
Hells yeah. But back to what I was just talking about. What's up, Chris? How you doing? What it do? Thank you for joining us tonight. We just gonna let y'all join us in this conversation we were having. We were talking about when me and Ricky ran track at Carroll.
Yep.
You said you had to run against who? Philip Gaines?
Some dude named Philip Gaines. Yeah, he had I guess he had a football scholarship to Rice University, but he also ran track.
Yeah.
And then he ended up playing for the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's crazy.
Yep.
What event was you running against him in?
Hurdles, 110 hurdles.
I knew it
and
was the
300
110s.
hurdles.
That's
It was
crazy.
fast, tall and fast.
That's similar story. I never made it that far in long jump. One of my buddies, Jonathan Turner, he I think he finished second 2 or 3 years in a row in state to Marquise Goodwin in the long jump. Damn. For those of y'all who don't know who Marquise Goodwin is, he ends up going to UT to play receiver, running track, or becomes a U.S. Olympian for the long jump. Like, to think like that kind of talent is what you're competing with. Like, when you're that young, the fact that you don't even think about it, like, because in your area, in your mind, you're like, bro, I'm the shiznits in this city or this area. And then, like, you go to, like, those bigger meets, those bigger tournaments for basketball, and, like, you see, like, oh, snap, that motherfucker is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Back in those days, Carroll was 5A, though, so they were the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always, whenever they would get to the regionals or maybe even before regionals, shit, they be gone because they get to the regional tournament, they're playing against a dude who then committed to Texas Tech or, you know what I'm saying, something like that in any sport, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like we were talking about earlier, when I played football at Carroll, we played. That's Brandon Grant, my bad. But when I was at Carroll, we started off in a district with like Flower Bluff, the Corpus schools, whatever. But like my sophomore year, I want to say, we switched to a San Antonio district. So we were up there with Converse Wagner, Converse Judson, East Central, South San.
I think we even have Victoria.
Southwest. We had Victoria Memorial. Like back when they were still Victoria Memorial. So like
San Antonio schools and Victoria?
Yeah. Like, so our district was a gauntlet, but our football team, I don't know about the basketball team, but the football team, we were all right. Like, we held our own. I remember the first time we played Judson, I was a freshman, I think, a sophomore, and it was playoff game. Then we ended up in the district with them. But like, just to see like, the cream helmets, the red J, fast little nigglets, the whole nine,
y'all were
bro.
in the district with Judson?
Well,
we had to play them in San Antonio, and they had to play us in Corpus.
Yeah. And I still remember this, like, so my junior year, we went up to Judson to play them in football. And this was the first time I had been on a high school field with a jumbotron.
Yep.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's 09, and this team has a jumbotron and a turf field. Now, cabinets.
And it works.
The works, bro.
No, I'm saying the jumbotron, it works. It actually is showing something on.
It's showing replays. It's showing stats.
They got like a junior college football field.
Bro, it looked like a junior college football stadium, bro. And that's because like I got the opportunity to play at Texas State Stadium.
Yeah.
I played at Texas State, I played in the Alamo Dome, and I played at Converse Judson. Converse Judson is probably second behind the Alamo Dome. You know what I mean? Like, that field was beautiful. But like, so that's why, like, it amazes me, like, when Corpus schools play like San Antonio schools and they get blasted. You know what I mean? Because like, it's one thing to lose, but it's a totally different story when you're getting 40 burgered, 50 burgered. You know what I mean? Because I competed with those schools. So, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, if we didn't get 50 burgered.
Bro, that ain't.
You know what I mean? Like, how was it for basketball?
That ain't even nothing compared to basketball. So when we played San Antonio Wagner, I don't remember when we played them at Carroll, but I remember when we played them there.
Yeah.
So who they had on their team? I'm pretty sure y'all know this name, Jordan Clarkson.
You played against the walking bucket himself.
The walking bucket that plays for Utah. And they had this one dude named Andre Roberson.
Two NBA players.
Yeah. Badass defense, you know what I'm saying? Could dunk, athletic. So they both was on the team. You talking about 30, 40 burger. We talking about a 50 burger.
Sheesh.
They beat y'all by 50?
50 points. Had no chance, bro.
And Jordan Clarkson had to be like, what, 6'8"? Or he's short?
Okay, so at the time, they was like 6'4", 6'5", but they wasn't a center. They was point guards and small forward. So our center was 6'3". Everybody else was 6 feet. Our center was a dude named Patrick Cantu, and then we also had Chandler Mack, but he wasn't really a center. He was more like a small forward power forward, like a slasher.
Yeah. For those of you,
and then we also had that tall dude. He was a white boy. I forgot his name.
Tony Bocage.
Nah, I don't think. It was some other dude, Tanner Kaufman.
There you go. I remember Tanner.
Him. He was like 6'5".
He played center.
Yeah, he played center. But their point guard was 6'5",
like
6'4". So imagine their center, but they didn't really have a big center. Wagner didn't have no big center, but Judson did. They had a 7-footer, tall white boy.
That's
tall
crazy.
and skinny. He went to UT Arlington scholarship.
That's crazy work, bro. And like, so
Tall.
That's crazy because like being from Alabama, like when you say like 6'5" and 6'4", like I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. But like it's so rare because like there's only like a handful of
I've been saying
black athletes
I've been
in
saying
Corpus
this
like that.
for damn near like a decade.
I mean,
plus,
like,
if you 6'5" in Corpus Christi, the coach is gonna try to make you a center.
Yep.
Yeah. Because they're not used to it.
They're not used to
They're
it.
not used to
you
it,
got
bro.
height, so we're gonna put you down low in the post. But damn, you might be able to dribble the ball. You know what I'm saying? Slash, dunk. But that's just gonna be that, and that's just how Corpus is.
Yeah.
We don't really got that. We don't really got them genes. I'll say them genes. Them genes. It's rare. Like Tank Mayberry, he was big. That boy was like 6'8", 6'9". He played at South Park, and then he think he went to John Paul.
Yeah, but even then, Tank would have still been considered like a small.
He would have been like
he would have been considered an undersized center.
How tall was he?
Like when he went,
he was like 6'8", 6'9".
When he went to college, he was like I guess he was like a power forward.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like
they probably bumped him up to power forward. If he had the shot and could handle the ball,
but
they
would have
tried him at 3.
Like in my class, him and I would probably say Chandler Mack.
Chandler was 2010 or 2011.
Chandler was 2010.
2010.
But didn't he leave senior year and go somewhere else?
Mm-hmm. Because
what do you mean?
He
said at Carroll.
He graduated from Carroll.
Yeah, he graduated from Carroll. Then he went to that Hartman. I forgot what that college is called.
Already,
it's like a junior college.
Yeah, he's a globetrotter now.
Now he's a globetrotter
doing his thing. Because like
I thought he left his senior year and went to like school in Alabama.
If he did, because every time I see him, we talk about. I was like, hey, bro, it's crazy that like when I got here, you left, and like we basically swapped places because like he went somewhere in Alabama and I got here in Corpus.
Yeah, I could have swore.
Yeah, he didn't graduate from Carroll. He did leave. But like the crazy thing, like because, and I always stress this, like Corpus has NFL talent and NBA talent, MLB talent. I mean, shoot, Jonathan Anderson made it to the NFL from Carroll High School. You know what I mean? Dude was all of 6'3", 220.
Wasn't even that tall, yeah.
Wasn't even that tall, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and that's because when he got to TCU, he started off at safety, but they bumped him down to linebacker. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because, yes, he has the physical tools for it, but like, when you're dealing with like those other athletes that are just bigger, faster, stronger, and you're come from Corpus Christi where like, even if you're a decent athlete, you're going to look great. You know what I mean? So it's how do we create that outside of the city competitive nature, I guess. You know what I mean?
I would also say this too, back in those Jonathan Anderson days, Jonathan Turner days, like we didn't have the training that we have now also. To get training like on the level that we have here in Corpus back then, for them, they would have had to go to San Antonio or, you know what I'm saying, Austin or Houston. We didn't really have it to where we didn't have people coming back that had played college ball.
I agree with that.
Investing back into the community like we do now.
If somebody's got a son right now that's got real potential in a sport, man, go to San Antonio. Move your family to San Antonio because you're gonna have all the stuff that you need up there, basketball, football camps, year round. You got the
Facts.
Spurs up there, so each player is having their own little camp.
Well, I don't think you have to necessarily move. I think it's just more or less when it comes down to it, like UT, every summer they hold the football camp. It's on the parents to get their kid to that football camp. Yeah. Now, if you're just that parent that's, man, I ain't taking you nowhere, you better ask such and such. If his mama going to take y'all, then more than likely your kid ain't going to be going nowhere. But if you're making those sacrifices, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday to drive to Austin to go do a 1-hour football camp just to come back home, then more than likely you're probably going to be somewhere. Like whenever we interviewed Price Megan, he literally told us like his mama was making those sacrifices for him, and where he ended up going to the Oklahoma Sooners because his mama was there making the sacrifices for him.
Yep. His mom's cool as a fan.
His little brother.
I played with Ferris.
UTSA.
And speaking about like the development, like I remember like when I was playing at Carroll, like in order for me to like get better at like during the summertime or like during the off season, like, yeah, we had the TAC program, but, like, anything other than that is like, me outside with my power shoot, my ladder, like, just running around, just getting it in. Other than that, like, and then I also, like you were saying, like, it's up to the parents to make that sacrifice and get their kids in those positions. Well, for me, it was my brother. Like, my brother, every summer, he took me, like, he let me go to an Auburn camp because he knew I loved Auburn. Like, if everything was going according to my plan, I was, like, graduating Carroll, going to Auburn on scholarship type shit. You know what I mean? That was since I was, like, legit. But, like, every summer or in high school, I would go to the Auburn camp. Then I would either go to the football university combines, or I would go to some combine in either Houston, San Antonio, or even Corpus or something like that. Like, just to, like, be around better competition. You know what I mean? Because
and I got a question for you, but before I ask that question, I'm gonna and this is no disrespect to my mama. I love you, mama, but I remember one year, like when I say sacrifices, playing CCYFL 1 year. Yeah. Doing all right. The next year comes, which is gonna be like my very first. It was my 6th grade year, so I would have been my first year on senior varsity. The next year I could have been the 2nd year on senior varsity, but that would have been 7th grade football already. 7th grade football. I played 5th grade year, my last year of junior varsity, and I remember senior varsity year coming up and me begging my mom to like play again, but she just really, I don't know if she didn't want to make the sacrifices to be going back and forth to practice every day, or she just didn't have the money to just put us into it. But it even starts on that level. And back then, CCYFL was only $35. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make those sacrifices even at a younger age. Facts. Put them kids in the YMCA basketball leagues and stuff like that. Your kid ain't finna make it nowhere just going in the front yard playing on that basketball goal every day. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying?
And the crazier part was like, as far like I had a unique journey with sports, bro. Like at first, like when I would always like growing up in the country, like you outside, I'm throwing the ball up by myself, having full-fledged football games by myself type shit, right? Mm-hmm. And so like at first, my mom didn't want to let me play organized football when I was old enough. But what happened is my cousin, her husband at the time, had a Pee Wee League football team, and he says, "Jan, just let him play. I'll take care of the equipment, the uniform, this, the that, and the third." You know what I mean? So that's actually how I got to play football for the first time. Same thing happened with Pee Wee baseball. It's like the only way I got to play was because like my best friend at the time, he was like, "Hey, bro, you want to play on our baseball team?" I was like, "Shoot, yeah, let's go ask my mom." So we get on the bikes, ride a little quarter mile, get to the house, and I'm like, "Hey, mom, like they want me to play on that baseball team, yada yada." She goes, "I ain't got no
first thing a black parent gonna say.
I ain't got, how much is it? How much is it?" She goes, "How much is it? I ain't got no baseball money." You know what I mean? Type shit. And so like
it's the same in Alabama.
Yeah. And so how baseball ended
growing
up
black.
Yeah, my best friend's dad was like, again, "Janet, just let him play. We'll take care of the uniform. We'll get him his cleats." That's how it is. But
yeah, man. Same thing
and
with
this
LeBron.
was probably a white man too.
For football, my cousin-in-law is what I'm just gonna call him for short because I don't feel like saying all the words. He was a black dude, but baseball was a white guy.
Definitely, you know
white guy. Like, and then dig this. Like it was beyond just like playing baseball. Like I would literally like I'd ride with them to the games. Like I'd ride with them to the practices. Like even like because me and Ned, we met in kindergarten. Like we hit it off the bat. This is the first person outside of my family. Like, "Hey, can I go to your house?" Yeah, type shit. You know what I mean? So it's just like
they wanted his friends to be involved in stuff that he was involved in.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Could have been the next king.
Is like, dog, take it like this far. Like, I never played organized basketball, but like his dad was the first person to like, hey, you know what, Jarvis? I think you can dunk that basketball right there. And I got the basketball like, you think so, Mr. Dale? I think you can dunk that basketball right there. I got it, but like it's just the sacrifices of not even just the parents, like the village around that kid to help that kid out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this is what I was getting to. I was because he was saying earlier about how you got to go to them camps and stuff, and I was thinking about like, unless you just got some straight raw 5-star talent, you're at Carroll High School and you're a 5-star athlete, then yeah, you ain't really got to go nowhere because they're gonna come here looking for you. But this is what my question was. Do you think that a player can be a 5-star, not necessarily in baseball, but let's stick to football and basketball. Do you think a high school player coming out of CCISD or a local corporate school can be considered a 5-star, being the level of competition that they're playing against?
Yes and no. I think that
like, can you be a 5-star if you're playing against Moody and King?
Yeah, yes, you could be a 5-star, but you got to make that high school.
Yeah, you better be a quarterback. You got to make the for 450 and running for 200.
No, you got to have the stats, of course, but then you got to have those same stats that you have in the regular season and the high school football playoffs, and at least make it to the championship game. Then them scouts are gonna be like, okay,
but that's what I'm saying. So if you're, if you're at Carroll High School, but I'm raw as hell, but we got booted the first round my sophomore year and my junior year.
I've seen it in person with Jordan Whittington when I used to go to the Quero games.
But you can't compare Jordan Whittington because he won a state championship.
Look at it like this.
That's what I'm saying. So some of the stuff that he did in the regular season,
he was a 5-star athlete before he won a state champion. No, he was a 4-star before he won a state championship, and after that performance, he became a 5-star.
And some of those games, the coach didn't even play him. Like if they were playing a shitty team, he wasn't playing. He only played against the good teams, the district teams.
But a town like Quero is a hotbed. Like I feel like if you're at A&M, you're gonna go to those towns like Queros and those Referios because you know every year there's probably gonna be at least one coming out of there.
We're fucking what 5A?
So in order to get that. Like, yes, and like my argument has always been, why can't Corpus get recruited by UT and stuff like that? But here's the answer to that question. In order for you to be considered a quote-unquote 5-star talent, yes, you have to have the stats, you have to have the measurables, but you got to win something. Because look at Andrew Body. Andrew Body is, 6'2", 6'3", like 195, the fifth in Texas history in passing yards. And you mean to tell me that's not a 5-star? Because, like, yes, you have to have, but most importantly, you have to have the eyes on you. You have to be at these camps. You have to be playing at Jerry World in late January, early February. You need, like, the entire resume. Because when it comes down to it, like, if you look at a just not like resume, but just athlete for athlete, Andrew Body is a better looking prospect than a Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? But the Baker Mayfields have the freaking Lake Travis backing behind them, the freaking Allen backing behind them. You know what I mean? So can a player from Corpus Christi be a 5-star athlete? Yes, if they're putting themselves in front of the right eyes. Like, they have to be at those UT camps.
Andrew Body came out with 0 stars, and I'm sure Andrew Body was at least,
bro, at least 3 or 4.
At least 3.
Man,
at least 3.
Yeah.
From what I saw with my eyes, I would say at least 3.
You know who I think had a better season than him?
Who?
And I'm not talking about a quarterback, but Andrew Body.
Charles Coleman?
My homeboy Huff, last name Huff. His son is at West Oso, man, putting up ridiculous numbers.
Talking about Elijah's son.
Yeah, Elijah Huff.
Yeah,
yes,
Huff.
Man, he had a.
Yeah, he ran for 2,000. When he ran for 2,200,
crazy.
He went to Midwestern State.
Yeah, you would think he'll be a 4 or 5-star, at least a 4.
Bro, dig this.
I don't think he had the body.
I don't think, and no disrespect, I may be wrong, but I think maybe he didn't have the grades.
He probably didn't have the grades. Dig this, like same situation.
That comes into that's part of it too. You know what I'm saying?
You remember Malcolm Brown? You know who finished?
Which one? The
running back.
The running back or the defensive tackle?
The running back. You know who finished behind him in the state in rushing that year?
Who's that?
Charles Coleman.
Oh shit.
Charles Coleman got busy. Now, mind you, dig this. This is the answer to your question. This man was top 5 in the state, right? He had a teammate getting recruited by TCU. You know what I mean? He had another teammate being recruited by UTSA. And you mean, and not, I all respect in the world for Jake Sims. All of the respect, right?
Who was Jake Sims, the receiver?
He was our quarterback.
Okay.
He was all respect in the world. He had a decent high school arm, but our offense ran through number 3. My brother was sitting in the stands during our playoff game when we got blasted by New Braunfels and said, bro, y'all's offense is simple. Coleman left, Coleman right, Coleman up the middle. You know what I mean?
Coleman was a beast.
Dude, like, so if that dude isn't 3 stars, 2.5 coming out of Corpus Christi, it's going to take somebody who is 6'5". You know, it was going to take a kid the size of Billy White with the athletic ability of Andrew Body with the arm of Trevor Long to be a 5-star quarterback. That's what it would take. You know what I mean?
And they would have to play some quality teams.
And they would have to play in the district that I played in with Judson, Wagner, East Central, Southwest. They would have to play in that kind of district. You know what I mean? Because, like, it's mission impossible almost because, like Leo said the other day in the comment section, these coaches can come down here and get these Corpus kids, but what's the point if they're not going to stay in school?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not getting eyes down here from Rivals.com.
Man, them coaches, them recruiting coaches and head coaches, they gonna want to know the whole
What Drew are you talking about, Marcus?
Like he said, Marcus
Who's
said,
Drew?
Andrew Body.
Okay.
So, check this out. Lonnie Atkinson, in my opinion,
4 stars,
is the best
Those
receiver
4 stars,
that I have
on the
seen
field
in the last 10, 15 years in Corpus Christi. How that man, where's he at?
Sam Houston State.
He's at Sam Houston State. You mean to tell me he can't play at Texas Tech?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me he can't play at TCU? Not Texas, not A&M, not the juggernauts, but like Texas, Houston. Know what I mean? SMU. Know what I mean? Like Rice. Like that baffles me because no one in South Texas could cover Lonnie. He even showed out against LBJ. That's exactly what I'm about to say. Him and Andrew Body both showed their asses. You know what I mean? So, like, in order for a Corpus Christi kid to be a 5-star athlete, it's going to take that Corpus Christi kid dominating down here, going to IMG and telling people he's from Corpus. In my opinion. That's a good one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And this podcast is brought to you by anybody who wants to sponsor it. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate y'all for following along with us. And we're going to change it up just a little bit. Since we talking, like, this main premise has been on football and basketball, and Marcus, I want you to chime in on this one too.
If you're still tuned in.
If you're still tuned in, I want you to tune in on this one, chime in. What, in y'all's opinion, is harder to achieve? Becoming an NBA champion or becoming a Super Bowl champion?
I know my answer.
Because for me, I think it's more difficult to win a Super Bowl than an NBA Finals. Don't get me wrong. I think winning an NBA Finals is mission impossible. Just ask Karl Malone, right? But I believe if you have 7 shots to get 4 wins, opposed to 1 shot, 1 kill, it's a tad bit more difficult, just in my opinion.
No.
What you got?
Because you got the first round, second round, the conference finals, and then the finals. So you got to go through 4 rounds, and there ain't no bye like the NFL. So if you like the Kansas City Chiefs, whatever, just like you go undefeated, you don't got to play that first week, that wild card. You play the divisional. Then you go to the NFC or AFC. Then you go to the Super Bowl. So technically, you only got to play the divisional, the AFC,
you got to win 2
and
games.
You got to play 2 games. You got to win 3 games
to be a Super
Bowl champion.
Hear me out.
You can get hurt the damn 3rd, 4th game in the first round. The whole team can damn near get hurt. And
I get that.
That's why I say it's harder.
Yeah, I get that, and I respect it. Like, I get it.
That's why I
like,
say
you gotta
it's
go.
harder.
Like, don't nobody want to face.
If you're talking about physicality, yes, the NFL is way harder. But if you're just talking about like sitting there watching, just you eyes, what's harder? God damn, the NBA finals, NBA playoffs and finals is damn near like a whole month or 2 months.
I get you, but here's my only thing, right? Like, let's say that you start off slow in the NBA finals, right? You drop the first game, right? You mess around, fall down 0-2. You bounce back game 3. You bounce back game 4, right?
Yep.
Now you can go on a roll and still win those games and still become a champion, right?
Yeah.
let's say in that first round, you lose your first 3 games. You lose on the road twice. You lose your first game at home, right? You somehow pull it off, right? You still have 3 opportunities of messing up in order to eventually get that game, like get that series. But you have maybe one bad play, one bad quarter, and your playoffs are done.
And let me speak on that real quick. And speaking on what he said, I just watching that Super Bowl with Cam Newton against, was it the Broncos?
Yeah.
Hey,
I just knew at some point that Cam was going to get it together, but there wasn't enough time.
There wasn't enough time.
And I can't remember, that game was a couple of years,
2014.
10 years ago. I can't remember if he ended up getting it together at the end or not, but I just remember watching that whole first quarter, second quarter, thinking, okay, at some point the rust is going to wear off and he's going to get it together, and he never got it together.
I feel like that game was rigged for Peyton Manning. Just
it damn near looked rigged.
Just to ride off and retire, win right off in the sunset.
The way that Cam Newton played that game, I'm like, bro, at some point he's going to get it together, and he just never got it together.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
So he didn't have another game
yeah,
to
that's
come
all I'm
back
saying.
and get it together.
Yeah. Okay, I feel you on that. So what's going to be harder? When the Cavs were down 3-1 to Golden State and they came back and won, or when Tom Brady was down versus Atlanta and came back and won? Which one's harder?
I would say being down 28-3.
28-3.
28-3.
But you're down 3 games to 1. You only got 1, and you got to win 3 in a row.
I get you.
Take it to a game 7. So you're telling me that
now, if you're asking me if
that's a good comparison.
It's a great comparison.
That's a good comparison.
It's honestly low key. It's the same situation. No, but I will say this though. I'd
rather be down 28-3. Be like, damn, we gotta win 4 games. We gotta win 3 games in a row.
Now think about it.
And if we just lose 1, we're done.
Think about it. Like if we don't get this stopped right now, we're done. Like either way, we're done, right? But at the same time though, you dug yourself that hole. You had 3 other opportunities to get a game though, right? Right? You had game 1.
I get you. You had 4 games, but you lost 3 and won 1.
You lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, you lost 3 and won 1 out of the 4.
So is coming back down 3-1 hard? Absolutely. But to come back in one shot, like you don't like I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying. Like I just think that just if you just have that one shot, and let's say you go into the like that bye week rolling, right?
Yeah.
And y'all take that bye. Now you're like you said, like he was waiting for Cam to get it together. Like I think it's just a little bit more of a unique and more difficult situation in the Super Bowl. But I think that 28-3 would be more difficult because you had 4 previous opportunities to get that second game or that to get back even. You know what I mean? Like they had one shot, and like not to mention like that, like most teams in the NBA, they consider game 1 a throwaway fill 'em out game anyway.
It's a fill 'em out game.
You know what I mean? Like there's no fill 'em out quarters.
You're not supposed to win.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to win if you're down 3-1. And you're not supposed to win if you're down 28-3. We could both agree on that,
we
right?
agree on that.
We could
absolutely.
both agree on that,
but
right?
You know what else I think we
and I'm kind of gonna throw it, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be on more on the football fan side about this conversation, but like say you're down 28-3, somebody gets a pick 6.
Yeah.
Okay? Or strip sack, or just a fumble. Like stuff can happen where 7 points added on to 3 or 10, it's gonna make the game even more interesting compared to like it's possession by possession every 24 seconds.
Exactly.
And
now
basketball.
imagine you're down 28-3 and you throw the pick 6 or you have the fumble when you're trying to make that comeback. You know what I mean? Like I again though, like they are both like detrimental, but like look at it like this too. Like Dan Marino, one of the greatest players of all time, doesn't have a Super Bowl ring, right?
Yeah.
If you take that same conversation, I think that not having a Super Bowl hurts you a bit more than not having an NBA Finals. You know what I mean? Because, like, look at Carmelo. Carmelo will always be respected. You know what I mean? Karl Malone, although his, like reveredness is dropping, but, like, people still be like, hey, bro, that's Karl Malone. Put some respect on him.
Yeah, you can make it in an NBA career without a championship.
But Dan Marino is one of the greatest throwers of the football, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Never got it done, and he ain't even mentioned on the Mount Rushmore. You know what I mean? So
no, for sure. Like the Super Bowl is the mecca of sports. I'm sorry. Like I don't care if it's I don't care if it's a game 7 of like the ultimate game 7 in the NBA. Super Bowl is always going to top that.
Yeah.
They're always going to get the viewers. They're always going to be the $3 million 30-second commercials compared to the NBA final. I don't even know what they charging for a damn commercial. They probably ain't charging nothing.
Yeah, and then like you brought up
the
a good
halftime
point.
show.
Yep. You brought up a good point about the game 7, right? Like you have game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, game 5. Game 6. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got a game 7. Yeah. But as soon as the NFL playoffs hit, it's like, hey, bro, it's wild card weekend. You got to go.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
go home.
Like the worst thing that could happen for you in the NBA is if you draw LeBron in the first round. You know what I mean? Oh,
yeah.
it's
Denver did that 2 years in a row,
bro. Toronto, bro. So, what do you think Jordan's legacy would be if he had to come back from down 3-1? Against a team that only lost 9 games.
Right now? What I think right now?
What do you think
even with his championships?
Like, let's say, but one of them, he had to do it in that fashion.
It'll still be the same right now. He'll still be the GOAT, the greatest. Shoes will still be selling, jerseys, all that, clothes, everything. Like, he'll still be.
Man, I wish LeBron.
Even if he probably would have lost one. Even if he would have lost one and still had, what he got? 6 rings? 5 rings? I think he got 5 or 6 rings.
I think if he would have lost one, it would have helped his legacy. Like, if he still had 6, but he was like 6.
Well, coming up, I mean, he was getting beat up by the bad boy Pistons, so he could have had a little bit more now.
He was getting his ass.
But, his legacy is where it's at. LeBron's is where it's at. You can't put it all on LeBron. Yeah. Some of them teams that he was on the roster, he just wasn't there, man.
Absolutely. I got another question for you. And it's still NBA related, and it's still like I like the way our conversation is going. It's smooth transition between football and basketball. You know what I'm saying? King, the man I needed to ask this question to as well. So, and again, this video is brought to you by anybody who wants to sponsor it. King, give whoever wants to sponsor it a bump. Okay, so what do you two gentlemen think is more difficult? To replace a legendary coach or to replace a legendary coach or to build a program from scratch? Like, and the reason why I came up with this question is like, it goes back to Malachi Moore.
That's easy for me to answer.
Like, it goes to like Caden DeBow, right? Me and my brother talk about it all the time. He's ending up in a situation to where he has his Nick Saban kids, and he has his kids that he recruited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And on the surface, like I think that's the main thing with Malachi, why he lost his shit. He feels like the team is losing that discipline, that edge that Nick Saban brought. But for me, it's like I think it's hard as heck to replace a legend. Like, to be the next dude in New England or like to be the next coach in San Antonio.
Yeah,
it seems hard because like I feel like if you're building your own program from scratch, you're allowed more trial and error. Like Deion at Colorado is allowed more trial and error. Like if Deion was at Alabama, I feel like he'd have not saying he doesn't have a lot of pressure on him right now, but like I would say it'd be like 10 fivefold.
Well, I think it depends on the situation though, because if you're replacing a legend and you're replacing a legend whose staff you were on, then the system should already be in place. So if Kirby Smart was at Alabama before he went to Georgia. So if Kirby Smart would have been at Alabama all this time and not been at Georgia, and Nick Saban retires, and then Kirby Smart takes the job, well, it's just to me,
keep on rolling.
It just keep on rolling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But whenever you go from outside, then to me, that's almost like starting from scratch.
I've only seen it done 1 or 2 times. And one time in my lifetime and another time like when I was a baby. Recently with the Boston Celtics, whenever they let Ime Udoka, they fired him, right? He was a pretty good coach. He wasn't what you trying to great Hall of Fame or
I'm talking about like replacing Greg Popovich, replacing Phil Jackson in LA.
Yeah,
replacing
we're not talking about
that's hard.
Replacing Pat Riley in Miami.
You can't do that. That's hard.
You know what I mean?
I ain't seen it done.
Like imagine the shoes.
But I've seen coaches get replaced and then the team just picks right back up from the last coach.
Well, I guess
literally.
What I could think
and if they can do it, damn, Alabama should be able to do it.
Not if you're getting from outhouse, and that's what I'm saying. The only thing that I could probably think of is like and this is just off the top of my head, is like the Miami program in like the 80s and the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Whenever one coach would leave, they would basically just pick the coordinator up and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So that just keep. But if you're just bringing in a whole new player, a whole new coach from the outside, and then you're basically you're basically resetting. Like when Texas brought in Charlie Strong, I didn't expect it. Well, I at that point in time, I was young as hell, so I kind of did expect it to just keep on rolling. But in today's time, I realized, like, nah, it don't work like it. Because I remember when Charlie Strong first came in his first year, and even before they played a game, he said, if you're expecting us to win a national championship, your expectations are far beyond. And I'm like, what you mean?
What you mean? We talking about?
We don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And then I look at it now like, yeah, when a coach comes in for his first year, like, if you're a fan expecting him to win a national championship, you almost have like some unrealistic expectations depending on the type of program he took over.
Sheesh. I mean, I get it.
Well, we're seeing it this year with the Patriots and with Alabama.
Yeah, like, and the Patriots are in a unique situation too because like they showed it was training camp and they were playing I think they were playing Young Dolph, and I was like, this would never fly if Bill was here. You know what I mean? So like it's just unique to see because I remember when Tommy Tuberville left Auburn. And I think we brought in, I don't remember who brought in. I don't know if it was Gene Chizik right away, but like it was just weird not seeing. And like honestly, we've still been like trying to find that next guy. Like Hugh Freeze is doing his thing, but like it's not that same, you know what I mean? Like, so I think the hardest thing for you to do when replacing a legend is to get people to buy into your way. You know what I mean? Because you've had guys that have been there for 4 years and Nick Saban said, hey, your curfew's at 9. Everybody, and now he's like, hey, bro, you can stay until 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that building a program from scratch, that would be like if I was a coach, that would be my challenge that I would want. Like,
but look what happened with Charlie Strong. Though he came in, he damn near booted off half the football team and shit.
But see,
That's what Colorado's doing. What they've been doing for the last 2 years.
Nah, you can't compare it to that.
They was 1-11.
Nah, yeah, but no. What I'm saying is Charlie Strong came in after Mac Brown had went 8-5, and all those dudes that Mac Brown went 8-5 with, he didn't tell them, no, you're not good enough. You should go to another school. He said, you didn't fail that piss test for weed. You're off the team. Like that. Like, and he was kicking niggas off for the simplest shit. Because he wanted to build his own culture. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, Mac Brown let them niggas fail dirty UAs and get in trouble and all that type of shit. Charlie Strong came in, tried to build his culture and kicked out all of Mac Brown's dudes for little simple shit. Hell, I mean, kicked out Joe Bergeron.
He was trying to be their daddy instead of the coach.
And end up, what happened? He didn't do shit at Texas.
Yeah, that's similar to what happened in Philadelphia with the Eagles. After Andy Reid left, they brought in Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly was trying to implement all the college, like all of his college stuff, sleep monitors, curfews, no partying, no this, no that. And you're not going to tell LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Donovan McNabb, you're not going to tell grown men what to do.
35-year-old vet.
No, I'm
36-year-old vet.
No, bro. The team will fire you and give me an extension before they make any kind of moves. Like, get out of here with that. But I think King's gonna like this next one. I think you gonna like this one too, boss.
Let's go.
Is it time to say officially, D? Anyway, is it time to say officially that Texas is the best team in the country? Because I watched Alabama lose to Vandy, then I watched them stumble over South Carolina. I think that Bama has potential. I think they can figure it out. I think that Georgia is in trouble this week because I don't think Carson Beck is that dude. I think honestly Georgia is at the end of that amazing recruiting class that they had, and Texas is killing it in recruiting in the portal, and they have taken a step ahead of the field. Now, it's going to come down to Oregon, Ohio State. I think Ohio State's going to be nice. But I think it's time to finally say Texas is the best team in the country. What about y'all?
Number one for a reason, man. They're gonna be in that college football playoffs, and
for years
to come. It's for them to lose this year for sure. I know that SEC is hard, but Who they gonna play in the
They
SEC?
got a favorable schedule.
Who they gonna play in the SEC?
Once they get past this Georgia game, all they got is
Florida. They got the
Florida and Vanderbilt.
Let's just say like who y'all think they might play in the championship? The SEC?
Might be a rematch with Georgia or Bama. If Georgia loses, no. If there'll be a rematch with probably Bama. If Bama can ride it out.
I want to see Bama versus Texas.
Yeah, I want to see that.
That would be a game, bro.
I want to see.
Now the question is, does the SEC have the game traditionally in Atlanta, or do they fill up Jerry World?
Oh, it's already going to be in Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta?
Said, yeah.
Absolutely, as it should be.
They got like contracts.
Absolutely. Peach Bowl, nigga. But outside of Texas, Bama, Georgia, right? What is y'all's next 3-4 teams?
Who'd you say?
Like outside of Bama, Texas, and Georgia, who would you say are the next 3 to 4 teams to watch out for?
Oregon, fucking Texas A&M.
What's that one running back doing for Boise State? I keep seeing this dude.
He's at Boise State, bro. So he made a deal with his lineman. If he doesn't rush for 2,000, he has to cut off his locks.
Yeah, man,
that's
he's doing
crazy.
some big things. Maybe they sneak up in there somehow.
Miami.
I like Miami.
And Clemson is back on the rise.
Gotta love Clemson. Let's see. Let me look.
Y'all think there's gonna be an underdog up in there somewhere though? Like somebody we ain't even thinking of?
Boise gonna give somebody problems if they win their honestly, you know what? You know what?
They gotta have that record right now though and keep it.
Let's see.
They gotta have that record right now. They can't be.
What about 5-1 SMU?
Yes. If you've only lost one game, yes, you can still make it. You can't have 3 losses.
6-0 Army. 5-0 Navy. Let's see. Bro, this top 25 is insane.
I feel like if it comes down to, say, a couple of teams that only got 1 loss or maybe even undefeated, I think it's like what Derek be talking about, that strength of schedule.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, though, I think Penn State is flawed. I think they're frauds. I don't believe in Penn State. I don't. I don't believe in Penn State. I don't believe in LSU. I don't believe in Clemson.
Oh, man.
And I don't believe in Notre Dame.
Gonna do my boy from Westlake High School like that.
I'm gonna do him like that. I'm gonna do him. I got to. What's his last name? Club Nick?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to club that Nick with the I don't believe in you tag, bro. Like that's what I'm gonna have to do with that one. But I'm excited though, gang. Like the Heisman's field is finally starting to play itself out. Auburn's doing terrible. Hey, Dag. Did you hear about old boy spitting on Buddy?
Yeah.
Dog, what is going through your rabbit mind to go? Cause you got to be accurate. I don't know if y'all ever wore a face mask, but no,
you got to be.
In order to
there's only
through that
couple of holes.
You got to be accurate, and for it to not hit that top bar.
Yeah,
maybe
you just got a little speck on him, man. Maybe the full spit didn't hit him.
Hey, no Diddy, he hot toured at that nigga, bro. No Diddy.
Yeah, that's what he did, man. He put a something on him.
I don't how do you discipline that as a coach? Like, is that like a suspension for a half? Is that a stern don't do it again? Is that a we don't tolerate this at my program? Like you're off the team? Like what do you? Is it like a bunch of running?
I feel like that's a 1-game suspension.
You got kicked out for the rest of the game. So as a coach, you would probably try to count that as a suspension. Being that you don't want one of your best athletes, you know how they be trying to give them a slap on the wrist nowadays, especially if you're a star.
What Mike Gundy said about that running back? How fast? How far over the limit was he? 43 miles an hour. I'm giving him 43 carries. That's crazy though. But that slap on the wrist though, I think
Malachi Moore should have been suspended the game. So whatever.
Nigga, should he? I think
the coach came out and said we basically took care of it in house. He issued an apology and all that. Basically it wasn't nothing to hold him out a game. At
least a half.
Because he a star. That's why.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, that's the professional statement to make. Yep.
Now that's the NIL boosters like, hey, you better keep that boy on the field, coach. Mm-hmm. I get you out of here faster than you can say roll tide.
Goddamn Eagles coach was making fun of the fans. He had to come out with that professional statement.
Look, you ain't gonna talk about my Eagles, bro.
What happened?
So what had happened is a fan was in the crowd in the first quarter,
probably.
and he was like, and that's because I watched a video from one of our favorite YouTubers. A fan actually tweeted what happened in the situation. So y'all gonna leave my coach alone. Anyway, so the fan was heckling him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He was bullying and assaulting my head coach, right? It's the only time I'll ever publicly defend you, Nick Sirianni, so I hope you enjoy it. He was heckling him. He said, hey, coach, you need to run the football.
Yeah, they got Barkley.
They do. But what happened was I sent a text message to Nick Sirianni. I was like, hey, yo, Nick, my bro got Saquon on his fantasy team, and I'm playing against him today. I'm going to need you to air that bitch out. He was like, go Birds. And so the fan was telling Nick to run the ball. And then at the end of the game, Nick said, I told you I was going to run it. I told you. I don't hear you now. And then...
he found the same fan?
He found the same fan and went back at him.
But just imagine, though, there's other fans around that dude, too. So it's like he's directing it to the fans, even though he's probably just directing it to one person.
I get why it's right, but I mean, I get why it's wrong, but I understand why it's right. You know what I mean? Because... like, I am a Philadelphia Eagles fan. We are dicks. Sometimes you got to tell us, shut the fuck up.
They booed Santa Claus in
We
Philadelphia.
threw snowballs at Santa Claus. We cheered when Michael Irvin broke his neck. Goddamn, like, we deserve to be told by our head coach who we send the press in there asking them stupid questions. Like, hey, bro, how many plays do you script in the first quarter? He ain't going to tell us that. Stop asking them stupid questions. So
Hold on, I'm sorry, but we just got to remember, this is the same city that during a holiday game, they brought out Santa Claus.
Leave my team alone, nigga.
And the crowd booed.
Leave us alone, nigga. Man. You got to also remember that when we won the Super Bowl, they greased up the light poles, and they goofy asses was still climbing the bitches.
Yeah, man, they was acting
like,
a fool, bro. They was acting a fool like how... the team that beat Alabama, bro, didn't they say they took the goalpost to the street?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm going to be honest. My Philadelphia Eagles winning that Super Bowl, we are the definition of we should have never gave you niggas money.
Yes.
I swear to God we are.
Yes, bro. Okay, to stay on that subject, bro, let's just hypothetically just say that Colorado wins the college football. They about to act crazy, bro. They're going to light the campus on fire and shit.
Bro, they went bananas. They had Deion limping off the field. Shador was trying to find his chain. Travis was trying to find his hamstring.
They already got robbed one time,
bro.
In the locker room and
twice.
Shit. Twice.
It happened in Boulder and it happened in Jackson State.
Yep.
Does he keep using the same security system? That's my question.
Man. This shit's getting real. It's getting real interesting week by week. Let's put it like that. Even with the Cowboys bullshit. Jerry Jones threatening radio interviewers and shit. Talking about, I'll get somebody else to ask these questions. Don't. Basically he said, fuck with me and find out. That's basically what he said.
Bro.
Oh, there.
Jerry said, they asked Jerry, so, Mr. Jones, how's the weather? God damn it, I don't care. I got my ass whooped on my birthday. Quit asking me how my day was. Bro, like, how mad would you be if a team beat your ass on your 82nd birthday and they almost hung 82 on you?
Man, to me, that shows me the type of person that he is.
Yeah.
Man. Like, instead of taking responsibility, you threaten this man's job. And then I was watching ESPN, and they were basically saying, like you threaten this, like, that's how he feeds his family. Like, if he loses his job, like, he out of there type shit.
Out of there.
Yeah. And you're basically willing to threaten to fire this man because he asked you a question he was supposed to ask.
What was the question?
Basically, after the shitty performance that we saw, why didn't you make any offseason moves? Like with the Derrick Henry, you know what I'm saying? And he took it to the heart.
Yeah.
Because I think what it is like, Jerry just like, he want to be loved, but he hates to be hated. And him bad at his job and he can't fire himself. And I think he has too much pride to admit that he was wrong. And I mean, let's be honest. How many times you went to your parents and you go, you know what, baby? That was mama's fault. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Never. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Jerry just need to swallow his pride and do what Vinnie Mac did without all the old allegations and just step aside and let the youngins run it, because you're not going to win with just a decent quarterback. And let's be all the way honest, right? And I'm not, when I say this, I'm an Eagles fan, but I'm not trying to say this with any like hate in my heart. Troy Aikman was a really good NFL quarterback.
Yep.
There was nothing like, how many times did somebody go, hey, who's the GOAT? Troy Aikman?
It's because they build that shit in the draft, man. He can't do that shit no more. He needs to go get off-season players.
He does.
He don't want to spend money.
They built Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith. They got all of them in the draft.
Yep.
He got them for cheap.
Yep.
Came up on a bunch of money because he didn't have to pay them off the back, no badass contracts. And he's still trying to do that shit in 2024 with Michael Parsons.
But we also got to remember whenever it came time to pay them.
Oh, he paid
No,
Troy
he
Aikman.
No, he
didn't.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Michael had to hold out. Emmett had to hold out.
He's still trying to do that shit like some plantation owner and shit. That motherfucker.
I'm just glad.
man.
I'm just glad the shirts don't say property of anymore. That shit used to be crazy work. Y'all remember them shits?
Yeah.
Property of Philadelphia Eagles. Property of the
Cowboys.
freaking Rams. That used to be crazy, bro.
But, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with Jerry. Man, especially just this year, bro. Like what he's been saying, how he didn't make no moves, how the team's looking. I'm done with the Cowboys.
And that's basically what the radio dude called him out on, just basically saying, like, dude, like, how do you expect people to still, like, support and be fans whenever you're not doing nothing to make the team better?
Nah. And I think it's only, I say 2 years, because the young generation, they're already Texans fans. The young generation is already in Houston, bro. Like, you have C.J. Stroud, you have Will Anderson. The uniforms are sick, right? Like, they're competitive. They got swag. They look like they're having fun. You know what I mean? The Texans are the cool team in Texas now.
Man, put it like this. If I walked in Walmart right now and I seen a Cowboys t-shirt for $3 and I seen a goddamn Texans t-shirt for $3, I'm buying the Texans one.
Well, right now,
the Texans ones could be
they're like the cool team.
They're the cool team. That's what I said.
It's like, I don't know, man.
Bro,
representing the Cowboys just this year just don't make sense, man. It don't make sense. Why are you rooting for a losing organization?
That ain't doing nothing to better the organization.
Yeah. Like, and for me, it's like, I personally have a problem with Darius Slay going on Micah's podcast. Like, I get, like, all right, y'all cool. Like, have a podcast. That's cool. But, like, you can't go into on your division rivals podcast in season. In my opinion, that's crazy to me. Like
the whole Cowboys team needs to stay off social media and start hitting the damn field, man. Practicing, training, doing something, man.
I don't
stop doing podcasts and start watching film about the next opponent you about to play. God damn.
Honestly, I think the biggest problem, yes, Jerry is situated firmly in the middle of those problems, but I think the biggest thing that just happened is y'all letting go of Dan Quinn. Like, I think that letting go of Dan Quinn is a bigger blow to the energy and morale and the coming to work part of the game. The coming to practice part of the game. When I'm tired, I don't want to do this no more part of the game. You know what I mean? Like, having that one, hey, come on, bring the juice. Yeah. Like, I don't know what coach it was for you, but, like, for us, like, it was Coach Wag, then Coach Booker. Like, they always just brought the juice to practice. You know what I mean?
Man, Mike McCarthy looks like a coach. Like, he'll be mad at you 1 minute, and then you can go up to him and, like, nudge him, give him a hug because he's big, and he'll be all
big
good.
Jolly motherfucker.
Like, yes, bro.
If Jerry is threatening to fire the radio host, you can imagine what type of head coach he wants. He don't want it. You think he want the way that he went after the radio dude that questioned him? No, you don't think Mike McCarthy? Yeah, he like Mike McCarthy because Mike McCarthy is sitting there being a fucking yes man.
Yeah. He ain't gonna hire Bill Belichick. Yeah. Bill Belichick gonna be like, hey, Jerry.
He gonna be ready to
go get your ass back in your office.
Me, somebody just gonna hire me right away. Like, fire me. I don't give a fuck. That's what Bill Belichick gonna say. Fire me. I don't give a fuck. Like, somebody gonna pick me right back up. Mike McCarthy, his NFL days might be over as a head coach. I'm sorry, man.
I honestly thought he should have came back as an offensive coordinator.
I think he's doing a little bit of the play calling, right? Isn't he doing the play calling?
Mike McCarthy?
Too? Yes.
Mike McCarthy is
he's doing the play calling and the head coach because they let go Kellen Moore.
He's in Philly right now, and that. Do you know who else is getting them? Like that's one thing I will say about Nick Sirianni.
So he might be done.
Mike Zimmer's Dookie Juice.
Yep, bro. He's been Dookie Juice.
Bro, it's bad when you got the damn the opposite team offensive lineman doing trick plays.
Yeah,
dog. And here's how you know that was good old fashioned Dan Campbell hatred. Dan Campbell can't stand y'all ass. Like, he hates the Dallas Cowboys. This man was up 30, running tight end, or like you said, the freaking hook and lateral to Penei Sewell. He legit lined Dan Skipper up at the X receiver and sent him on a route. That's so disrespectful, dog. Imagine freaking Terrence Steele out there running a route. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me, bro. But
I ain't seen a trick play in the Cowboys playbook in years.
I ain't seen one in Philly since 2017.
Was that the one when they did the
Philly Philly special, man.
They scored on that one, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah,
they went ahead. They went up.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple of more before we get out of here, gang. So, and this is more an NBA question because, like, to me, like when you were younger, you would watch like the Spurs, and you knew for a fact that you were going to watch that team together for at least like 5-6 years, right? Or you'd watch the Cavs back in the day. They didn't have nobody, but you knew that Bron would be there for like a good 8-9 years.
Yeah.
Like you had Wade in Miami, and he stayed there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
Kobe
Lakers. Staying in LA. Or like even in the NFL, like when you had Peyton Manning stay in freaking Indy for so long, Tom Brady staying in freaking New England for over 20 years. Like people, like in my opinion, like people don't retire where they start anymore, right? Do you think that the ability to move teams is diminishing, like the competitive nature in the game? And do you think that we've reached a point to where all of these players are like just 4-year, 5-year rentals for an organization? And should we like, oh man, hey son, this is Dak Prescott. He's going to be your quarterback until you are like 18.
Kevron said championship mean big is harder to win. Yep. But yeah, back to your question. Yeah, a lot of these players is doing that 4 to 5 years. I feel like I want to put Kevin Durant in there for damn sure because he didn't switch so many teams.
Yeah, like.
But like, if I just had to say like a random player, like I would say like Stephon Curry. He ain't. I think he's gonna stay.
Yeah, he's gonna like
stay. He's gonna retire in Golden State. Got drafted by them. Gonna retire. There's just that 1 in 3 players. Yeah, literally 1 in 3 players that's gonna start there and finish there. Basically, yeah, probably in the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah. And
this is the way the business is.
And it's just like, it's so like unique. You know what I mean? Like every other team has 2 superstars, a potential star. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I can't quite put my finger on like when like the movement like became so rampant, but like I do enjoy it. Like
I think it came rampant whenever Shaq left Kobe.
That's what I was gonna say, but I know what I'm saying, I didn't want to be one to blame
like
Shaq.
People saw like, oh, he left and still won a championship.
Yeah, now my question though, why does LeBron and KD get killed so much for it when Shaq was the one who was the first?
We know why KD gets killed for it because he left the team that beat him, whatever, joined the 73-win team and went over there and won a championship, 2 championships, to be a fact. But yeah. LeBron. He left Cleveland for Miami. Yes, Dwayne Wade was flash, and Chris Bosh was all right, 15 and 10, maybe 20 and 10. But it was just them 3. You got to have the bench. You got to have players to actually do it. So I don't really knock them for that Miami. I don't even knock them for the Lakers.
I ain't even, hold up, side note. I ain't even going to read your comments, Kevron, because you should be here saying it on the microphone.
Women won't lead us first. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Hey, Kev, since you in the comment section, I asked Rick this question earlier. Do you think Wemby wins an MVP in San Antonio this year? I honestly think he has a hell of a shot.
Yeah, because he got Chris Paul.
Like, he has Chris Paul, somebody who's actually going to pass him the basketball. Because last year, Keldon Johnson was too busy trying to get his own numbers. Sohan was trying to get his own numbers. The whole team was trying to get their own numbers and learn who they are as NBA players still. I think Chris Paul's going to be like, hey, give me that damn ball. Do you see that 8-footer right there?
Yes, bro.
And I think that in every team Chris Paul plays for and he stays healthy with, they make the playoffs and they give people fits in the playoffs. Now, that hamstring usually goes out in the playoffs.
Or right before.
But I think with a coach like Pop who will load manage him, the OG load managing coach.
Oh, he's a
like, think about
master.
it. He's got a coach, like, finally.
But then again, he might never do that because they might barely make the play-in or the playoffs.
I think they're going to be all right. And I think that the mixture of Chris Paul, Castle, and Wemby, I think Wemby, like, in my honest opinion,
he said they got a shot, but he don't got an excuse now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Wemby can win MVP, and I think Castle can win Rookie of the Year.
That'd be some good awards for the Spurs.
Like, and then if they would have just kept my boy Dillingham instead of shipping him off to Minnesota. Oh, speaking of Minnesota, that don't make no sense. Why did they trade Cat instead of Rudy Gobert?
That's what I said. It goes back to the business of the NBA.
Like that,
you ain't just gonna stay with your team that drafted you for your whole career, unless you just like a Stephon Curry, or LeBron James. LeBron James could have stayed with Cleveland. He didn't have to leave.
Yeah, you think Bam stays in Miami? That's a good one.
As long as Eric Spoelstra's there, yeah.
Okay,
he gonna get the players around.
Let's see. What about Hallie and Indy?
Who?
Tyrese Halliburton in Indy.
If they can get the players, yeah. I know it's a small market, but if they can get the players, and Rick Carlisle, he did pretty good for them.
I know a superstar who is out the first second he gets. Take a guess.
It ain't Ja Morant.
And Ja ain't going nowhere. Memphis loved Ja, and Ja built for Memphis. The only other place that would be better for Ja would probably be New Orleans.
Okay.
Because he ratchet.
Wow.
Who are you thinking, Anthony?
Who, Anthony Davis?
No,
Edwards?
Yeah.
Nah, I think Minnesota's going to do right by him and put talent around him. They don't want another KG situation on their hands.
Already.
In my opinion, I think that Cade Cunningham is out of Detroit the second he has an opportunity, bro.
I think he signed a new deal. He signed a new deal. Yeah, I thought he mistaken.
Here, look it up because, like, I think he's out the second he gets a shot. I think that LaMelo Ball will leave Charlotte.
Yep.
I think
that's a yes.
Like, whichever, I don't know which one it'll be. I feel like the media will drive a wedge big enough between JT and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
one of them will leave.
On July 10th, 2024, Cade Cunningham signed a 5-year, $224 million contract extension.
Instead of trying to find a motive.
The richest deal in franchise history.
The three teams I'm watching this year is first the Lakers, second the Milwaukee Bucks, and then the Spurs. I'm going to put Houston in there because they're going to be all right.
You think Damian Lillard going to play enough defense to win a chip in Milwaukee?
It ain't about just Damian Lillard. It's about that damn coach, too, Doc Rivers. He's on the hot seat, bro. That's why I'm watching him.
You should have started with Doc.
Because Dame might leave, bro. He might leave, and then Doc Rivers just might get fired.
Bro, there's no might.
That's why I'm watching them.
Doc Rivers is getting fired.
If they just say if they start off 10-10, you don't think Dame ain't going to be happy?
Bro.
And Doc Rivers going to be in the hot seat.
When is Doc Rivers' hot seat ever cool?
They need to start off like 15-5 at best within the first 20 games. 15-5.
Bro, so
not even no 13-7. Like they need to be like
they gotta be like top 3.
Be like 15-5. Don't be no 13-7 in the first 20 games.
Okay, let's say they're second in the conference, right? Who's the acceptable team to be second to? Or okay, let's say they're fourth. Who are the acceptable? It's team 1, team 2, team 3, then Milwaukee. Who are the acceptable teams to be behind?
Miami.
Okay,
because they're in the East, right? Milwaukee.
Yeah, Miami's in the East.
Miami's in the East. I know Miami's in the East. I would say Miami would probably be right behind them.
Okay, let's see. I'll say Boston.
Philly. They should be like okay, 1, 2.
Miami. I say those
1,
3.
2.
Because the Nuggets have Russell Westbrook. That's why nobody's talking about the Nuggets.
I didn't even know they had him.
Yeah, they signed Russ.
I didn't even know they had him until a couple of days ago. Like, what?
Oh, man. I love Russ, though. I love Russ.
The Lakers, the Mavs. Well, the Mavs is in the West. We're talking about. Yeah, the Mavs are going to be up there for sure.
Yeah, in the West, I think Bron finally, for the first time in like 4 years, has like motivation to play. He's trying to be the first father-son championship duo. Trying to get Bronny.
Golden Stadium, they might do something too, man.
Who?
Golden State, they might do something.
Who they got?
Too.
They got Steph, Dre.
They lost Thompson, but they got like some younger players that's stepping up.
So they got my boy.
They got some center dude that's kind of like athletic.
What's his? Kaminga. They got Kaminga.
Yeah. They still got Wiggins.
Kev, who's on my Golden State roster? I wish he was here. He should be here. Can we try this next week?
Yeah, we could do it next week for sure. Yeah. But they still got Green and they still got Curry. And then they got like Kaminga, they got Wiggins, they got this one dude like Jackson or something.
Right. After you I think Steph Curry's gonna be fine. Okay, question. If you could build the perfect NBA player, how would you build him?
Perfect NBA player? How would I build him? Like Wemby. Can shoot, tall, dunk, rebound, block.
Respect.
He's an alien.
He is a prototype
alien. Like that's the perfect, bro. And then I would probably say LeBron would be under him. 6'8", fast, freight train. Get out the way. You see me coming. Wemby could shoot better. Whenever LeBron was a rookie and going into the second year, I feel like Wemby can shoot better, man. For damn sure.
Bro, Wemby is a bucket, bro. Like,
he got them handles. He's
how do you imagine being in grade school with that? Like, and you think you the shit, and then like, hey, have you seen Wemby?
Yeah.
Like, you just, where's this Wemby nigga at?
Well, they kept saying he was the best prospect since like LeBron.
Since LeBron.
Something like that. And
I want to give LeBron his flowers while we got people listening. That man needs some more respect on his name. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying he the GOAT. I ain't saying he not the GOAT. I'm just saying he needs some more respect on his name.
Yeah.
Because, there's some things that didn't, if that man, there's some things that LeBron James did that if other people did, you would never hear the end of it. That's why.
No, for sure. What he's going into is what, 21st?
21st year. And the thing, somebody brought it up. They said that everybody's complaining about LeBron taking 20 years to set the scoring record. And they're like, bro, do we forget that it took Kareem 20 years to set it in the first place?
Yeah.
So, we forget that he's the youngest to every benchmark, whether it be 10,000, 15, 20, 25, always the youngest to that mark. That's insane, bro. Yeah. Then coming back from 3-1, that's why I asked it earlier, if Jordan came back from 3-1 to win an NBA Finals, same career, he just had that. People would lose their shits and go gaga over it. That's just my opinion.
But I feel like we were just saying, LeBron had that 20, 21, 22 year span. I don't think Wemby's gonna have about a 10-year span, bro. Because he's so tall, linky. And I think he's gonna have about a good 10 years, and after that, he's gonna start feeling pain, knees, all that. What the tall dude goes through, feet. Yeah.
But
all that.
Opposed to the other ones, though.
I said a good 10 because he's young. He came in at 19. So you can at least give us until 27, 28.
Yeah. I think I don't see 20. I can see 10 great.
Yeah.
And then I can see
5, 15.
5. Yeah. 5 years of 15. Him just get the ball in the bucket.
He might not have that problem with the feet and stuff because he's so tall. He's
he's not as heavy as
so
old
light
school
on his
big.
feet. When he dunks, he's barely coming. He's barely coming down that much. You know, from the he just
for him, it's just gonna be
7. When you're 7 feet like Joel Embiid, or you 7 feet like Shaq, or
that's a lot.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of weight and pressure coming down on your feet. And you're jumping, you know what I'm saying? That's why Nikola Jokic, he ain't really had no injury because he ain't really jumping. He just
Dirk too. Dirk didn't jump for real like that.
So Wemby can give us 15. Yeah, Wemby can give us 15.
I can say he can give us 15. Let's see.
Wemby playing like KD playing. Yeah, KD ain't really had no.
KD never really had any.
KD don't really have to jump that high either. No, he just
Yeah, at least 15, Kev.
Yeah. That's why I said at least 15. A good 10, then he might have some injuries, miss some games, miss a half a season, you know what I'm saying, for the rest of the 5 years.
Yeah. Because, he has such a unique big man game, right? He, honestly, I don't even consider, I know he plays center and he's big enough to play center. To me, he is freaking Mr. Fantastic playing point guard. Just tall as fuck and just can do everything.
I'm just scared one of these damn games, we're going to see him shooting a 3 and then he going to land on somebody's feet and it's just going to be like, that's going to be the injury that just aches him and aches him and aches him and aches him and aches him. It ain't even about, you know what I'm saying, being in the post, dunking or whatever, doing them crazy ass alley hoops and stuff coming down. I feel like somebody's going to undercut him, slide their feet under him when he's shooting.
They going to Zaza for cheap shot him.
Because Steph Curry had those same problems when he was young with the
Dude,
ankles.
he did have terrible ankles. Yes. Like, I remember, like, when Steph... And that's why, like, I like to hold off, like, on calling, like, players bust or bad, like, when they're young. Because we don't know what they... Like, bro, they gotta... First, they got to learn how to play in this league.
Yeah.
Then they got to learn what they can do good in this league. Then, by that time, it was like, oh, you good. Let me start focusing on you. Like, and it's like, Steph, he, like... I remember when people were like, hey, bro, should they keep Monte Ellis or Steph Curry? Y'all remember that debate?
Monte Ellis was pretty good.
Monte Ellis was cold.
He was cold.
He was.
He made the right decision, though.
Yes, sir. Hey, King, if you could build the perfect NBA player, who would it be? Or how would you build him?
Like how tall, the weight, the position.
Like Kevin Durant with LeBron's body.
Ooh, that's a combo. That's a bucket. That's a bucket. Oh, man. Well, we about to get up out of here, gang. Anything you want to add, Rick?
Nah, man, I'm just excited for these college football games. NBA's about to start.
That's going to be a good one.
NFL's getting chippy. Jerry Jones mouthing off. Shit's about to get real spicy here in the next couple of weeks. Somebody getting fired. Might be a radio host or the damn head coach.
Bro, fuck, I was about to say something. Ken, you got anything to add?
He got a contract with that radio station that he speaks with every week. That's what I'm saying.
Dog, it's like...
He got a contract.
Yeah, he got a contract. 105.3 the fan.
Fan, right? Yeah.
Old boy might not be there next time.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. Like, I can't believe... Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Anyway.
Yes, sir.
You don't want to take no responsibility shit. He's trying to put it on everybody else.
Man, I can't believe he threatened to fire the man. Like, I would hit him with the...
On live radio.
But... Jerry, if you fire me, I'm taking back the playbook.
Oh, boy should have said, "I'm trying to fire me. Why don't you fire your goddamn head coach?"
Oh, he would have got fired.
Man, but
on the air.
Wait. Us Cowboys fans would have definitely started a GoFundMe account for that dude, bro. I would have at least put in $20 for him stepping up like that.
So just like
I would have gave him $20 on my money.
You know what I'm saying? So how you said that, just like you understand your Dallas Cowboy fans, that's how I feel about my head coach. Sometimes you got to tell a Philadelphia Eagles fan, hey, shut the hell up. I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want Jerry to fire everybody and sign everybody. We trying to get him fired. He had to tell us, fuck up, I got this.
That boy's GoFundMe account would have hit 100,000 with these Cowboy fans. Boy would have had to take the whole year off.
Man, but I think that's all we got tonight. I'm going to go ahead, break us down. Rick, appreciate you for coming again,
sir.
my boy. Kevron, request off next Wednesday. We are making this happen.
We need the big three,
all right,
man.
So we have tried to make this happen 2 weeks in a row. Last week, Rick couldn't make it because of certain situations. This week, Kevron, because of certain situations. But we'll be back next week, and I'm going to have both of them, and we going down. And King, take us out with the song I like so much. Yes, sir.